What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Gamer here, bringing y'all another video. Today we will be discussing what sniper in Apex Legends is better, the Sentinel versus a Longbow, and why. So let's get started. First off, all the testing in this video was done in firing range on dummies, along with some of the targets, along with an actual person. This was to help assure ourselves and anyone watching that these numbers are in fact legit. So firstly, we started with the Sentinel. It has a base damage of 70, so if it hits in the chest, for example, it's going to do 70 damage, and headshots deal 140 damage with the Sentinel. This gives it a headshot multiplier of 2. The Longbow, however, has a base damage of 55 and deals 118 headshot damage, which is a headshot multiplier of 2.15. That is 0.15 more than the Sentinel, but it is still 22 damage less than what the Sentinel does to the head. However, the Sentinel, you can hit someone in the head once and body shot them once, and that will completely kill them. Or you can hit them 3 times in the body, and that will completely kill them. With the Longbow, you can either hit them in the head once and in the body twice for a kill, or hit them 2 times in the head for a kill, or 4 times to the body for a kill. So with respect to the amount of bullets that it takes to kill someone, the Sentinel wins in this favor. And it's also important to keep in mind that the reason that this is actually important is because of you can only carry sniper ammo in stacks of 20. Our next test, we took the Sentinel and the Longbow and we fired 3 shots, took the time it took to fire those 3 shots by going frame by frame 3 times, and we figure out the fire rate, or rounds per second. So for the Sentinel, we shot 3 shots, it took 3.5 seconds, and the fire rate, or RPS, came out to roughly 0.86 rounds per second. This makes sense because you do have to drag the bolt back out of the carrier to eject the shell and push it back in. So that's why it has a slower fire rate than the Longbow when you see here, with the Longbow having 3 shots fired in a time of roughly 1.55 seconds, we get a fire rate, or RPS, of 1.94 rounds per second. So the Longbow has a faster fire rate, which is nice. Why is fire rate important? So you can get the amount of shots off in time. Even if the Longbow takes 4 body shots, it does fire faster. So we took that same time that it took to shoot 3 times, then we multiplied the base damage of the Sentinel and the Longbow by 3. So now the Sentinel base damage times 3 does 210 damage, where the Longbow does 165. And then we figure out the damage per second by dividing the time it took to shoot 3 times from the base damage times 3. So 210 damage dealt over 3.5 seconds, that gives us 60 damage per second for the Sentinel. And then for the Longbow, we do 165 damage over 1.55. It gives us roughly 106.5 damage per second. And this makes sense because of the fire rate is higher for the Longbow. And then we calculated the time to kill solely based off of the base damage, without any headshot multipliers applied to it at all. We kept things simple. So we simply took the 200 standard HP of someone that is fully shielded and with 100% health, and divided that by the DPS, the damage per second. This would give us roughly 3.3 seconds to kill with the Sentinel. However, for the Longbow, the 200 HP divided by its damage per second, which is roughly 106.5, gives us a time to kill of 1.88 seconds. So the Longbow wins in time to kill here as well. And now this is if you have 100% accuracy on someone in the torso area as well. And before I go any further, I do have to mention that you're probably wondering why we chose the Sentinel versus the Longbow. First off, they are the most similar sniper rifles in the game. The charge rifle requires insane tracking abilities in order to maximize damage, and the triple take is very similar to the Sentinel. However, it is very unreliable at range because it shoots 3 projectiles that spread out over distance. But that doesn't make the charge rifle or the triple take bad. We're just comparing what sniper is best between the Sentinel and the Longbow. Now the draw times are 0.9 seconds for each weapon, the holster times are 0.6 seconds for each weapon, and the projectile speeds of the Sentinel and the Longbow are both exactly the same. But when we look at the magazine sizes, the Sentinel has a magazine size of 4 with no magazine mod added. Then it increases by 1 for each magazine rarity you go up. So the white will add 1, so that makes the magazine size 5, then the blue is 6, and the purple is 7. With the Longbow, you start with 6 rounds in a base magazine. Then when you add the white one, you get 8. Then the blue one is 10 and the purple is 12. So it goes up by 2. So the base headshot damage from the Sentinel is 140. And then with white helmet, it is 126, which is a 10% reduction from beforehand. With the blue helmet, it is 112 damage to the head with a 20% reduction from beforehand. Then with the purple helmet, it is 105 damage to the head, which is a 25% reduction from beforehand, and the same for legendary. However, with the Longbow, the original headshot damage is 118, but with the white helmet it is 106. Then with the blue it's 93, a purple it is 87, and a legendary helmet it is 87 as well. But the percentage of reduction is actually a little more than 1% as opposed to the Sentinel. The last thing to compare between both weapons, and that is Disruptor Rounds with the Sentinel. So you can charge up the Sentinel with 1 battery. This takes a little over 5 seconds. However, it makes the Sentinel a very powerful weapon, as you can hit someone in the foot and it will still deal enough damage to completely rid of their shield. And you would think that this would add on to the base damage that you would do initially. However, this is not the case and isn't really how Disruptor Rounds work, as we saw in King's Canyon with Disruptor Rounds on the alternator. So even if you hit someone in the head, the idea behind Disruptor Rounds would be that it would completely destroy their shield, but also deal the 140 damage on top of that, making it a one-shot kill gun. However, it will only deal the maximum amount of damage that it can, which is 140 to the head. So is it really a plus? Is it really worth wasting a battery? In my opinion, no. I haven't seen people really have any cool clips using the Disruptor Rounds. I've never seen any tactical or high-level plays using Disruptor Rounds on the Sentinel either. So in reality, this feature is more of a drawback because you're wasting a battery which could have been used for healing. So that is all the testing between the Sentinel and the Longbow. Have to thank Nova FPS. You'll find a link down below in the description to his Twitch channel where you can follow him on Twitch. He helped me out. He was my testing dummy I used in this, and he also wanted to know which was the best because he has the top 3 number of kills with the sniper rifle in this game on PC. So he wanted to know which sniper he should be using. And what it comes down to is this. It comes down to personal preference first off. Whether you take a lot of time between shots, then it doesn't really matter which one you use. But if you are extremely accurate and you can hit your shots consistently, the Longbow is the way to go, just because you could deal more damage in a less amount of time and kill faster than you could with the Sentinel. But an issue a lot of players make with using the Longbow is just spamming it. You have all this ammo and it can even help you with a squad wipe, but if you spam the damn thing, it is actually very hard to keep on target. That's where the Sentinel comes in. Pulling the bolt back between shots of the Sentinel makes you, in your mind, kind of readjust and plan out where your next shot is going to end up, which is very nice. But if you're a confident player and you know what's best for you, the Longbow is going to be the way to go. Due to the magazine capacity, the fire rate, the damage per second, and the time to kill, all being better than the Sentinel, it just has to be a no-brainer at this point. Thank you all so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like, a comment down below with your thoughts on what sniper you like the best, the Sentinel or the Longbow, and tell me why. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more awesome videos just like this, because I've been Instant Gamer. I'll see you all next time. Peace.